He was just an ordinary high school student, until an accident awakened the world's only SSS rank regeneration ability within him. But this marked the beginning of his nightmare, because every time he gets injured, he always recovers completely in a short time, and endures excruciating pain during the healing process. To see Ethan suffer, the school bully begins rallying other students to torment him, and because of his regeneration ability, his body never bears any evidence after each attack. Ethan tried to fight back. He reported the bullying to teachers and police, but every attempt ended in failure. Because one of his bullies is the mayor's son. Despite how difficult life is, Ethan never gives up hope, because his mother is his only reason to keep living. Her simple words of care always bring him joy. Ethan, how's school been lately? Is anyone bothering you? Since his father died young, Ethan doesn't want to worry his mother, so he lies, saying school is great, everyone treats him well. That's good. Then you must work hard to graduate from Ability Users Academy. That way you can become a useful hunter for society. These words from his mother are what keep Ethan going, because once he graduates, he'll become a high-paid urban hunter, and then he can get his mother a bigger house and give her a better life. But misfortune always strikes those who suffer most. Now his only reason to live is shattered, because his mother fell into a vegetative state overnight, and the one who put her in this state is none other than the bully who's been tormenting him all along. That group happened to walk into his mother's shop. Hey beautiful, you here alone? Interested in having a drink with me? Sorry, I'm very busy right now. But then, his mother accidentally knocked the bully's phone to the ground. I'm so sorry, I'll pay for the phone. But the bully doesn't care and sends her flying with one punch. Do I look like I need money? What terrible luck. You damaged the screen on my brand new phone. When Ethan learns the truth, he's consumed with rage. Only those who've experienced such despair can understand. His teeth grind so hard they make cracking sounds. The next moment, two front teeth suddenly shatter and fly out. He lets out a soul-tearing roar. At this moment, he's completely enraged, determined to avenge his mother at any cost. He then goes to the hill behind the school, where he finds the bully who put his mother in a vegetative state. He demands to know why he did this to his mother. But the bully just smirks mockingly. Oh, so that woman was your mother? Anyone who didn't know better would think she was some kind of prostitute. With that, Marcus summons blades that pierce through Ethan's body. But Ethan doesn't fall. He grips the blade that's impaled him with both hands. With a loud crack, he endures the heart-wrenching agony and pulls the blade out. The next moment, his pierced body regenerates completely. Now burning with fury, he swears to tear Marcus and his gang to pieces. Marcus frowns at his reaction, then summons over 1,000 blades. With a wave of his finger, countless blades pierce through Ethan's body. Even pierced by thousands of blades, Ethan still refuses to fall. He pushes forward through the pain of 1,000 blades, because Marcus touched his bottom line. And today, Marcus will pay the price no matter what. This guy's got some serious grudge. I'm getting tired. Volt, you're up. Show him what you've got. Volt nods, then activates his ability Thunder Eye. The next moment, a devastating lightning bolt strikes Ethan. With a heavy thud, Ethan is electrocuted and finally collapses from exhaustion. Marcus looks at Ethan lying motionless on the ground. Thinking the problem is solved, he turns to leave. But suddenly, two hands grip Marcus's ankle tightly. Don't go! Today you'll pay a terrible price no matter what. Annoying pest! You think you're in any position to make demands? With that, he slams his fist into Ethan's face. You should have protected your own mother better. Why do you keep bothering me? Enraged, Ethan bites down hard on Marcus's fist. This completely infuriates Marcus. Go dig some dirt and bury this guy. 3 minutes later, Ethan is thrown into a 5-meter deep pit. Ethan tries to stand up again, but Marcus won't give him the chance. With a wave of Marcus's finger, Ethan's entire body is wrapped in countless diamond blades. Seeing this, Ethan roars in agony. You damned bastard! Don't leave! I'll kill you! If you can get out alive, you can do whatever you want. Too bad you'll spend the rest of your life in this pitch-black underground prison. With that, he walks away without looking back. As Marcus leaves, the diamond blades bind Ethan's body tightly. As the blades in the surrounding rock walls close in, he feels the air growing thinner, until he suffocates to death from lack of oxygen. But after dying, he automatically revives, only to suffocate and die again. He endures the agonizing pain of healing every single moment. Just as he's about to give up his last shred of hope and sink into eternal sleep, images of his mother flash through his mind. Thinking of his mother lying in the hospital barely alive after Marcus attacked her, his overwhelming hatred transforms into power. He pounds the unbreakable rock again and again. Even as flesh splatters and bones shatter, he never stops. But to his shock, no matter how many times he strikes, not even a single crack appears on the rock wall. But he doesn't give up. He keeps pounding the rock with his fists. Through his relentless effort, his bones begin to mutate. His once fragile bones become incredibly hard and even start growing outward, forming external bone armor. Finally, his body completes its transformation. His revenge plan officially begins. Meanwhile, those 3 bullies are being interviewed by reporters for a global broadcast. When the reporter asks about the incident with Ethan's mother, Marcus sheds tears with a look of deep regret. Back then, I couldn't control my ability. My power went out of control and hurt a classmate's mother. I deeply apologize for this. Just as he's about to give his fake apology to the camera, the doors suddenly burst open. A monster suddenly appears appears before everyone. People around scatter in terror. Ethan looks at the three who once bullied him and throws a punch straight at Marcus's face. With a thunderous impact, Marcus is sent flying. His two companions freeze in shock. They can't understand why this monster is attacking them. Ethan's eyes are filled with bloodshot rage, like a demon returned from hell. Seeing this, Volt decides to kill him immediately, summoning a devastating lightning bolt that strikes toward Ethan. But when the smoke clears, Ethan stands there completely unharmed. With a sickening crack, Volt's head is split in half by Ethan. The thrill of killing excites Ethan. Dustin watches his companion fall and immediately summons a shield, but still can't escape his fate. Ethan flashes to his front and casually throws a punch that ends him. But then Marcus seizes the opportunity to get behind Ethan, swinging his boulder-sized fist at him. On top of that, Marcus summons over 1,000 blades. With a wave of his finger, thousands of blades pierce through Ethan's body. Just when Marcus thinks it's all over, Ethan slowly rises from the ground. Marcus's pupils dilate in shock. Ethan slowly lifts his head, and Marcus immediately armors his body with diamond, swinging his fist at Ethan's face. If one punch isn't enough, then two. If two aren't enough, then three. I'll definitely beat you down, monster. After being pounded thousands of times, Ethan bites down viciously on Marcus's fist. With a loud crunch, Ethan crushes Marcus's bones with his teeth. Marcus then pierces through Ethan's body at the cost of his arm. Just as he's about to escape this nightmare, a blade pierces through his body. Ethan rises from the ground again, all his injuries instantly healed by his powerful regeneration ability. With a thump, Marcus collapses to the ground. Watching the demon draw closer, he screams in despair. Ethan is thrilled by this sight. The next moment, he runs his blade through Marcus's body. In his final moments, Marcus trembles and asks the monster, "Who are you?" Blood-red veins appear at the corners of Ethan's eyes. Then he slowly removes his mask, revealing his true face. When Marcus sees Ethan's face, his pupils dilate instantly. He can't believe the kid he bullied is now this monster, but Ethan gives him no time to think, pounding his fists into Marcus's face again and again. Finally, after enduring inhumane torture, Marcus dies. But even with his revenge complete, Ethan feels no joy. His eyes are filled with sorrow. He roars at the sky, because when he went to the hospital to see his mother, she still lay there in a vegetative state, unable to wake up. As Ethan grieves, he sees a group of men bullying a weak woman ahead. The next moment, he flashes forward and cuts off one man's head. His companions immediately attack Ethan, but none of their attacks can harm him. Before they can even react in shock, Ethan cuts down the two men before him. Right now, he's like a demon fresh from hell, radiating endless killing intent. Ethan then approaches the woman, and just as she's about to thank him, her head is split in two by Ethan. After killing everyone around him, Ethan's mood improves. Why should you all be happier than me? You all deserve to die. I'll make everyone in the world suffer like I do. Then, a woman suddenly kicks the door open and walks in. Seeing someone dare to interrupt his grief, Ethan instantly flashes before her. Just as he's about to kill her on the spot, her next words freeze him in place. "I can save your mother." Ethan stops and listens quietly to what she has to say. "I can wake your mother from her sleep." Because this woman is the world's only triple-S rank healer. But Ethan is skeptical and demands to know why he should believe her. Dr. Shen explains that during the 5 years Ethan was trapped underground, she's been caring for his mother. Otherwise, his mother would have died in the hospital long ago. Hearing this, Ethan gradually calms down and says he'll do anything if she can save his mother. What Dr. Shen wants him to do is very simple. Become a monster and slaughter the hunters who invade K country at will. Ethan ultimately agrees to her terms and fully transforms into a beast stationed at the Blood Gate, slaughtering J country's hunters freely. After that, in the dimensional passage from J country to K country, J country's hunters keep disappearing. Meanwhile, in the Capitol building, the J country's prime minister is furious after learning of this, so he decides to send their nation's strongest shadow assassin to investigate. Before he leaves, his assistant worries about his safety and suggests bringing backup, but Blade believes he's strong enough and doesn't need help. He even says backup would just slow him down. 2 hours later, Blade arrives alone at the dimensional passage. Facing the ugly beasts inside, he instantly slices them to pieces. But when he reaches the depths of the cavern, his pupils dilate instantly because he sees the culprit behind the missing hunters. Right now, J country's corpses litter the ground. Blade is enraged by this sight, his body radiating deadly killing intent. He immediately draws his sword and slashes at the monster. The moment Blade meets bone, Blade's expression turns to shock, because this monster's bones are as hard as diamond. The next moment, Ethan counterattacks. He thrusts his blade at Blade, who barely dodges to the side. Blade then sends Ethan flying with a left hook, moon shadow slash, cross slash, triple moon slash. At this moment, Ethan suddenly moves. He swings his sword with all his might. Just as they're about to collide, Blade instantly switches forms and severs Ethan's arm. Clearly, Blade has the upper hand in this battle, slicing Ethan's body in half. Blade looks at the fallen Ethan with a mocking smile. What were those J country's hunters even doing? They couldn't beat a monster of this level? But then, even with just his head remaining, Ethan isn't completely dead. His perfect regeneration ability brings him back to life. Just as Blade is sheathing his sword to leave the cavern, Ethan's wounds behind him heal at a terrifying speed. Ethan crawls to Blade's feet with his broken bones and bites down hard on his ankle with his teeth. With a loud crunch, Blade lets out an agonizing scream. Fortunately, he quickly recovers from his shock and slices off Ethan's mouth with a crescent slash. Then a crescent formation illuminates the entire dimensional space. The proud Blade is furious about his bitten leg. 12 moon slash, moon shadow dance, moon silence. Blade looks at the cavern covered in sword marks, slowly sheathes his blade, believing the beast has no chance of survival. But the next moment, a bone spike pierces through his ankle. A long-forgotten fear washes over him, drenching him in cold sweat. The next moment, a terrifying skeleton crawls up from the ground. As the skeleton draws closer, Blade keeps backing away. But soon he grips his blade again. His pride won't allow him to retreat. He raises his sword, ready for a fight to the death. But 3 days later, a head rolls out of the dimensional passage. The onlookers freeze in place at this sight. Ethan emerges from the blood gate like a demon god descended, his eyes filled with the aura of death. Prime Minister Drago roars in fury, but before he can even open his mouth, his head is split in half by Ethan. But the next moment, the Prime Minister's head miraculously regenerates, and he swings his massive fist at Ethan. This terrifying blow is like a volcanic eruption, melting Ethan's body in an instant, knocking him unconscious. This man possesses such terrifying combat power because he has two identities. Besides being J Country's Prime Minister, he's also currently their strongest Triple S rank hunter. Ethan, lying barely alive on the ground, rises once more. The hunters behind are shocked by this, because they recognize the regeneration ability in Ethan, which means this guy simply can't be killed. But to avenge their fallen brothers, the 7th and 8th ranked hunters charge forward together. Just when they think cutting his neck will end the fight, Ethan's bone blade strikes first, slashing across one hunter's throat, then immediately finishes the other with a single palm strike. Everyone watching displays expressions of utter shock. They can't understand why this bone-covered monster is so incredibly fast. Just as they're about to attack Ethan again, Prime Minister Drago stops them. From now on, anyone who takes one more step forward will die horribly by my hand. He does this because he wants to personally eliminate this monster, because he killed his closest person. When Blade was very young, Drago brought this street orphan Blade home. From then on, they called each other father and son. Under Drago's guidance, Blade quickly became J Country's #1 ranked hunter. He then fought alongside Drago, and eventually, they ruled all of J Country. Drago became Prime Minister, while Blade became the founding marshal. But now, Blade, whom he regarded as his own son, died horribly at this monster's hands. Overwhelming hatred surges through him, all converting into power that gathers in his palm, striking toward Ethan. The speed is so fast Ethan can't dodge. As Drago's blazing fist strikes Ethan's body, it melts all the bones on his chest. But Drago doesn't intend to stop there. The next moment, devastating flames spew from his mouth, turning everything ahead to nothing. Looking at Ethan's shattered and dissolved bones on the ground, Drago sighs deeply. This is finally over. But the instant he turns around, Ethan's body begins reassembling, healing at a terrifyingly fast rate. Drago's veins bulge with rage when he sees this. He then releases his magic power, turning the surrounding ground into a sea of lava. Seeing this, Frost immediately uses her magic to resist the scorching flames, protecting those nearby from harm. Right now, Drago's entire body is covered in molten lava. He simply throws a light punch forward, and Ethan's bones instantly turn to dust. But moments later, his body miraculously regenerates completely. Seeing his attacks can't kill Ethan at all, Drago reaches toward the ground. The next moment, a volcano erupts from the earth, striking directly at Ethan. Under this attack, Ethan's body nearly turns to dust, yet his healing ability keeps reconstructing his body. With a loud splash, Ethan falls into the lava. He struggles desperately to climb out, but Drago won't give him the chance. Drago orders Frost to attack. Frost removes her gloves, and the next moment, bone-chilling cold spreads outward from her hands, extending down into the volcano at a terrifying speed. The instant it touches the lava, the blazing magma turns into solid volcanic rock. They want to trap Ethan completely beneath the volcano, but little do they know, Ethan has endured such pain thousands of times. This pain means nothing to him. He then pounds the volcanic rock walls again and again. After thousands of strikes, Ethan crawls out of the lava. His eyes are filled with bloodshot rage, his body radiating endless killing intent, like a death god crawled from purgatory. Absolutely terrifying. Drago is utterly shocked to see Ethan rise from the dead. He gathers all his magic power in his palms and jumps back into the lava, charging at Ethan at 100 meters per second. Right now, Drago is furious, continuously throwing punches at Ethan, but his attacks can't kill Ethan. Ethan's body always regenerates completely from his attacks. Though he's far stronger than Ethan, both possess regeneration abilities, so neither can truly kill the other. So they fight from the lava surface to the depths below. Drago tears Ethan to pieces again and again, but can never completely destroy him, yet his body gradually weakens from unlimited exertion. In the moment he catches his breath, Ethan revives like a ghost above his head. But this time, Ethan doesn't choose to continue fighting Drago, instead turning toward Frost. Frost's arm was seized by Ethan before she could react, then dragged toward the volcanic lava. The surrounding hunters are horrified and immediately jump down after her. Drago, about to unleash his lava breath again, freezes at this sight. To protect Frost, he forcibly suppresses the lava about to erupt, then flashes forward to retrieve her. Ethan seizes the opportunity and slashes Drago's throat with his bone blade, but knowing this attack won't completely kill him, Ethan reaches for Frost's arm again, gripping her hand toward Drago's head. Though his body shatters under Frost's ability, Drago's head is frozen into an ice sculpture at this moment. After calling out to Drago several times with no response, everyone realizes Drago is dead, but Ethan, already shattered to pieces, rises once more, and in an instant slaughters everyone except Frost. Frost looks at the corpses scattered everywhere, tears of despair streaming down her face. As Ethan draws closer step by step, Frost finally breaks down completely. She reaches toward her own head. Just like that, J Country's most elite hunters are completely annihilated. As the victor of this carnage, Ethan feels no joy. His eyes remain cold and emotionless. To save my mother, what does it matter if I become a demon god and slaughter everything in this world? Unknown to him, an even greater crisis awaits. Right now, a woman continuously releases her ability on the patient in bed. The person lying in bed is Marcus, who was killed by Ethan. As strange energy flows into his body, Marcus opens his eyes again. After waking, Marcus goes to the magic stone vault. Because residual magic power remained in his body, the woman was able to revive him. The other two companions were not so fortunate, so they had to be buried. Looking at the massive gems before him, Marcus thinks of the one who caused all this, Ethan. He never imagined the guy he once treated as a toy could escape from the abyss and return as a monster to kill them all. The more Marcus thinks about it, the angrier he gets. He can't swallow this humiliation, so he removes his coat. The next moment, strange runes appear all over his body. He asks the woman to unseal him. The woman freezes instantly, because what's sealed in Marcus is a cursed ability. Once unsealed, the entire world will fall into panic. The woman ultimately unseals Marcus. After that, Marcus summons all Diamond Guild members to the hall. The guild members are thrilled to see their leader Marcus Han alive. One guild member named Jason Han speaks first. What's the purpose of gathering us here? But before he finishes speaking, Marcus slits his throat. This sudden turn leaves everyone around at a loss. What a delicious S-rank ability. Offer me your power. The next moment, a spike pierces another person's skull. The dazed crowd sees the spurting blood and realizes something's wrong, immediately fleeing desperately toward the exit. But Marcus looks viciously at the fleeing crowd, his eyes filled with endless killing intent. Ultimately, under his efforts, all Diamond Guild members are wiped out. Marcus sits in a mountain of corpses, greedily absorbing their energy. It turns out Marcus's seal was plunder, allowing him to continuously absorb others' energy for his own use. But there's no joy in Marcus's eyes right now, because he knows Ethan has killed the Triple S rank Prime Minister Drago, and he'll kill Ethan sooner or later. Tonight he'll go to K Country and chop Ethan's corpse to pieces. Meanwhile, Ethan, unaware of the approaching danger, casually walks out of the portal. Dr. Shen has been waiting at the entrance for a while. According to their original agreement, she decides to fully heal Ethan's mother. As the world's only healer with healing abilities, she guarantees she can heal Ethan's mother in just 1 week. After a long healing process, Dr. Shen walks out of the treatment room, trembling. The next moment, her body suddenly collapses to the ground, clearly from overusing her ability. Ethan doesn't understand and demands to know why she did this. Dr. Shen gently grasps his hand. Because I want you to live, and for your mother's sake, protect this world. The next moment, a green light slowly glows from her palm. Seeing this, Ethan quickly pushes her away. Dr. Shen sighs deeply, somewhat disappointed. I didn't expect that after spending so long in the blood cavern, your body has undergone beastification. If this continues, you'll soon become a true beast. And worse, because of Ethan's excessive killing in the blood cavern, he seems to have drawn attention. The Skeleton Lord summons his minions to crawl out of the blood gate to find Ethan. After these minions pour out of the blood gate, they immediately begin attacking nearby cities. Watching everything happening in the city, Ethan understands this is all because of him. Now that there's finally hope to cure his mother, he must survive and protect the hospital where his mother is at any cost. As the monsters draw closer to Ethan's hospital, Ethan finally acts. He absolutely won't allow his mother to be harmed. He grabs the nearest monster and tears its body in half. He slaughters the surrounding monsters frantically, because as long as he can kill all the monsters around, when Mom wakes up, they can live happily together. Just as Ethan loses himself in beautiful fantasies, a bullet suddenly pierces through his skull, but the one attacking him is none other than the K Country military. They show no gratitude for Ethan's help. Instead, they believe these monsters came because of him, that if they kill Ethan, the monsters will retreat back into the Blood Gate. So they deploy tanks and artillery, mercilessly bombarding the young man trying to save the world. Each shell strikes like a piercing spike, crushing what remains of Ethan's conscience again and again. At this moment, Ethan suddenly remembers what Dr. Shen said before. Once the Blood Gate opens, his beastification will be hard to control, so he must always stay rational or he'll completely become a monster. But now, the situation he feared most has come to pass. Ethan completely loses his sanity, falls into darkness, transforms into a beast, and begins madly slaughtering everything around him. But when he sees the head in his hands, his consciousness instantly snaps back because what he's holding is his best friend. With a thud, he suddenly falls to his knees, sobbing uncontrollably while holding his childhood friend. Ethan's heart fills with immense sorrow, overwhelming grief flooding his mind, making him remember a long-buried memory. He remembers a memory from back in school. Back then, even though he was bullied by Marcus every day, he had a childhood friend who truly cared for him. Whenever Leo saw Ethan being bullied, he was always the first to help, but Ethan didn't want to drag Leo down because of him, so he asked Leo to pretend not to know him in public. Leo is furious after hearing this. He doesn't understand why Ethan would treat him this way, but Ethan offers no explanation, simply lowering his head in silence. Watching Leo's retreating figure, Ethan thinks his only friend is about to leave him too, but what he doesn't expect is this. Leo never actually left. Instead, he's been secretly gathering evidence for Ethan, because his right eye can record everything it sees. After a long period of effort, Leo finally collects enough evidence of Ethan being beaten. He submits all the recordings to the authorities and the media, but the next day, his right eye is brutally gouged out. The moment Ethan sees Leo, his heart fills with unbearable pain and guilt. He knows Marcus Han is behind all this. He wants to avenge Leo, but Leo stops him. "Don't do it. You'll die if you try. We can't go to school together anymore, but you'll always be my best friend." Leo doesn't give up hope despite losing his right eye. Instead, he comforts Ethan, telling him not to worry. Even without his ability, he can still live a good life. After being discharged from the hospital, Leo chooses to leave school and join the military to serve his country. But now, Ethan's best friend has died tragically by his own hands. An overwhelming sense of suffocation makes it hard for him to breathe. He despises this cruel world. Why does fate torment him, forcing an ordinary high school student to endure all this? He just wants to live a simple life with his mom, yet he's forced to experience despair and suffering again and again. If this world treats me unjustly, then I'll become a demon god and slaughter this merciless world. Facing the beasts charging at him once more, he transforms all his resentment and injustice into the blade in his hand, slashing at the beasts before him. But the next moment, a dazzling purple light descends from the sky, blasting Ethan's entire body into fragments. After the purple light fades, an angel with beating wings descends upon the country. This is Lucas, the world's first hunter to awaken a SSS rank ability. Lucas has saved tens of thousands of lives and is the Empire's undisputed superhero, the very person Ethan idolized as a child. Yet now, Lucas has personally shattered him to pieces. Looking at Lucas's compassionate face, Ethan doesn't understand why he would attack him. Seeing Ethan's body reassemble itself, Lucas guesses that the monster before him possesses infinite regeneration. He brings his hands together, and the next moment, a cross appears out of thin air, binding Ethan's body tightly and rendering him immobile. Just as he's about to crush Ethan into pieces and eliminate him completely, an incredibly powerful magic force suddenly surges from the Blood Gate, neutralizing Lucas's binding. Freed from his restraints, Ethan's body plummets heavily to the ground, but Lucas has no intention of stopping. He intends to completely annihilate the monster before him. But at this moment, Ethan slowly utters, "I'm not beast. Why are you trying to kill me?" Lucas freezes instantly upon hearing this, looking at Ethan with confusion and asking if he's human. Ethan tells him everything he's been through, holding nothing back. After hearing Ethan's story, Lucas embraces him tightly. "Child, I had no idea you've suffered so much. Tell me your name. I'll find a way to help you." Ethan freezes at these words. This is the first time anyone has shown him such care since he returned from the Blood Gate. In this moment, his frozen heart seems to feel a trace of warmth. He slowly speaks his name. After hearing Ethan's name, Lucas lets out a long sigh. "My mission is to save all humanity, but today many have died because of me. To never forget them, I've carved all their names onto my body." With that, Lucas tears open his shirt, revealing countless names carved densely across his body. Ethan doesn't understand why Lucas is telling him this. Then Lucas's cold voice speaks again. "Poor child, while you could help humanity kill all the beasts, your existence will spread blood gates throughout the world, and even more people will die. So I'm sorry. You must die." He reaches toward his own neck and slowly carves Ethan's name there. Ethan is completely stunned by this sight. Before he can react, Lucas strikes down with his palm. An incredibly terrifying purple light radiates from his body. The next instant, Ethan's body is completely engulfed by the purple light. His body begins to shatter inch by inch, turning to ash. But this still can't completely destroy Ethan. An eye appears out of nowhere in the ashes, drifting with the wind and continuously growing. Finally, in a corner, Ethan's body fully regenerates. He knows he's no match for Lucas, but before he can think of a countermeasure, Lucas appears behind him like a ghost. Sensing someone behind him, Ethan doesn't think. He immediately throws a punch, but Lucas's body is like a phantom. Ethan's attack can't harm him in the slightest. Lucas seizes the opportunity and embraces Ethan once more. Ethan realizes that no matter how hard he struggles, he can't escape the fate of being turned to ash by Lucas. Ethan's body suffers immense pain through each cycle of rebirth. This endless agony is completely different from the pain he's endured before. It has far exceeded the limits that his desire for revenge can sustain. Ethan's consciousness gradually disperses under this infinite torture. His consciousness slowly returns to where the nightmare began. Watching scenes on the screen of Lucas saving people, Ethan dreams of becoming a hero just like him. Then Marcus Hahn asks him what his ability is. Without any caution, he directly reveals his external skeleton ability. And so the nightmare begins. All the suffering he's experienced in his life starts replaying endlessly. Ethan doesn't understand what he did wrong, or why he must suffer such agonizing torment. Gradually, his consciousness enters a realm of nothingness. He slowly begins to accept Lucas's view. As long as I live, everyone will die because of me. But if I die, Mom can survive. Just as Ethan decides to give up consciousness and quietly await death, an incredibly terrifying power suddenly erupts from the Bloodgate. That power continuously repairs Ethan's body. Under the Bloodgate's influence, Ethan's face becomes extremely distorted and grotesquely terrifying. The next moment, a crimson light bursts from his eyes. Ethan throws a punch. A destructive energy ravages the surroundings, shrouding the entire city like hell itself. After the energy dissipates, a few drops of blood fall from the sky. Lucas looks at his own body in disbelief. The invincible hero is now severely injured by Ethan's attack. This scene is broadcast to the entire world through drone footage. No one can believe that their god has been defeated. Little Lucas watches the scenes on screen, his eyes filled with worry. Even Luciana, S-Country's first hunter, shows a worried expression after witnessing Ethan's terrifying power. If this trend continues, the entire S-Country will fall before long. She thinks of the beast that appeared in the Arctic. If she could capture it, there might still be a chance to turn things around. Just as she's about to dispatch hunters to the Arctic, a figure suddenly appears in the Great Hall. This person is none other than Marcus Hahn, who slaughtered the entire hunter guild. He stands before Luciana. Let me hunt that beast for you. How dare you? You're merely an S-rank hunter, yet you dare enter my domain without my permission. Are you seeking death? With that, Luciana casually snaps her fingers, and the next moment, a terrifying pressure descends from above. Marcus is pressed down so hard he can barely breathe, yet his gaze remains fixed on Luciana. Aren't you troubled by this very matter? I can help you capture it. After hearing this, Luciana raises her finger again, and the next moment, the pressure in the hall vanishes without a trace. Luciana still doubts Marcus's capabilities. With just your S-rank ability, can you withstand that radiation? Seeing this, Marcus immediately summons a barrier around himself. Threads of energy wrap around him, then transform into a barrier that envelops his entire body. Witnessing this, Luciana lets out a long sigh. Fine. Regardless, if you can deal with that Arctic beast, I'll give you half the magic stones afterward. Having achieved his goal, Marcus immediately turns to leave and prepare for hunting the beast. 2 hours later, Marcus arrives at the far north and engages in fierce battle with the triple S rank beast. For him, if he can't even kill this creature, he certainly won't be able to kill Ethan. Facing a beast that even triple S rank hunters couldn't defeat, he soon endures fierce attacks. However, with his diamond ability and power to absorb others' abilities, he gradually wears down the beast's stamina. After an unknown amount of time, he suddenly collapses to the ground, greedily absorbing the energy from the beast's corpse. In this moment, he laughs maniacally. Once, to make his family more powerful, he was trained from childhood under his father's care to become a merciless killing machine. Therefore, he'll do anything to become stronger. After dealing with the beast, he returns to Luciana. Luciana is somewhat surprised to see that Marcus actually helped her deal with the beast that had troubled her for so long. Since you've completed the task, I'll give you half of the Arctic beast's magic stones as agreed. But Marcus scoffs upon hearing this and says indifferently, I've already absorbed all the magic stones. With that, Marcus extends his hand and swiftly attacks her. Fortunately, Luciana was prepared, and with just a light point of her finger, the next moment, a terrifying pressure descends from above, pinning Marcus's entire body to the ground, unable to move. The next second, Marcus's figure appears behind Luciana like a ghost, but with just a light gesture from Luciana, that figure transforms into a pool of blood. Luciana looks at Marcus with cold eyes. She removes her blood-stained hat, revealing a face that was destroyed long ago. Those magic stones were enough to make all of S-Country's hunters 10 times stronger, but you consumed them all yourself. Are you planning to become an enemy of the entire S-Country? Marcus doesn't answer. Instead, he responds with countless clones, but the moment his clones appear, they turn into pools of blood. However, this is actually Marcus's diversion. While Luciana is distracted, he seizes the opportunity to shield the red-haired girl who is being held hostage behind him, but this completely enrages Luciana. In that case, die! With a casual casual gesture, the surrounding stones transform into meteors and rain down madly toward the girl. Fortunately, at this critical moment, Marcus shields the girl without hesitation. At the same time, his body begins to twist bizarrely, and one clone after another emerges from him. Each has a different expression, representing each ability Marcus has absorbed. Just like that, thousands upon thousands of abilities bombard Luciana, yet their fate remains the same. Luciana merely snaps her fingers, and all the clones transform into brilliant fireworks blooming above the castle. But things don't end there. The very moment the clones disappear, a terrifying black hole appears out of nowhere, ready to suck Marcus's real body into it. In this moment, Marcus recalls his childhood self. After each kill, he would hide in the park playground and confess his pain to the girl. He really didn't want to kill, and it's precisely this memory that causes a bizarre scene to unfold on Marcus's body. Thousands upon thousands of personalities peel away from him, layer by layer being sucked into the black hole. And at the very bottom, a figure rapidly charges at Luciana. "You can die now." Luciana is shocked to see that Marcus not only survived but is charging at her with terrifying speed. But thinking of her two lovely children waiting for her at home, she holds nothing back and unleashes all her magic power. For her two children, she killed her own father with her own hands, willing to become an enemy of the entire world to climb step by step to the queen's throne. Now, her mission isn't complete yet. No matter what, she cannot fall. Unfortunately, reality is the opposite of her ideals. The next second, blood sprays as diamond blades pierce through her body. Thus, S country's only triple S rank hunter falls. After killing Luciana, Marcus walks toward the exit of the hall without looking back. At the same time, threads of magic appear on his body, absorbing Luciana's abilities completely. By absorbing Luciana's energy, Marcus learns that she has two children. He immediately heads to S country's awakened community. At this moment, the two children ask worriedly, "When will mom come back? We're awakened too. We can fight for our country as well." The butler tells them not to worry. The queen will surely protect us. But the moment these words are spoken, the butler's blood splatters across the entire room. The entire city is razed to the ground overnight, and at the center of the ruins, only the little girl stands alone. She trembles as she looks at the man before her, colorful threads continuously flowing into the man's body. The little girl doesn't understand what's happening, only feeling a bone-deep terror spreading through her. Marcus looks at the little girl who has already lost her wits and slowly turns to leave. Just as his figure is about to disappear from view, Ethan's image suddenly appears in his mind. The next second, he suddenly stops and raises one hand. Immediately, a sharp crack sounds behind him, and finally, the only surviving little girl falls as well. Meanwhile, on the other side of the continent, after being severely injured by Ethan's sudden burst of mysterious power, Lucas gently wipes the blood from the corner of his mouth. The next moment, incredibly terrifying power erupts from Lucas again. He tightly grips Ethan in his arms, then brings his hands together. The next instant, countless drops of blood spray from his hands. Just when Lucas thinks it's all over, the next moment, endless energy from the bloodgate surges into Ethan's body once more, like a demon god descending. Ethan breaks free from Lucas's restraints and comes back to life. Seeing this, Lucas brings his hands together again, and the next moment, countless drops of blood spray from his hands. Like this, Ethan's sanity gradually vanishes in the agonizing cycle of death and rebirth. Finally giving up resistance, he collapses in a pool of blood, endlessly repeating the cycle of death. To reignite Ethan's will to live, Dr. Shen works day and night to save his mother. The assistant beside her urges her to rest and not push herself too hard. But even though Dr. Shen has already exhausted her life force, she continues to struggle on, until she coughs up blood, and Dr. Shen's body can no longer hold on, collapsing heavily to the ground. The assistant rushes forward anxiously to check on her, but Dr. Shen doesn't care about her own condition at all, merely whispering, "The treatment is finally complete," before falling unconscious. And at this moment, Mrs. Tang, who has been lying unconscious in the hospital bed, slowly opens her eyes. The first thing she does after waking is search for her child, but when she sees Ethan transformed into a monster in the ruins, her first reaction is to turn and flee. Ethan thinks his mother is fleeing because she doesn't recognize him, but what he doesn't know is that, from the very beginning, his mother has been afraid. She's afraid that this child who has become a monster will hurt her. Ethan weakly calls out "Mom," crawling desperately toward his mother, but the moment he grasps his mother, she doesn't hesitate to slap him across the face. This makes his already broken face even more distorted, and his mother faints from terror. At this moment, Lucas's figure slowly appears. "So your mother was just an excuse?" Ethan doesn't know how to respond. Feeling deceived, Lucas erupts with terrifying energy once more. He will completely annihilate this cold-blooded monster. However, the next second, a cold gleam flashes, and Lucas collapses in a pool of blood once again. But this time, his head doesn't heal. Instead, strange white threads emerge from his mouth. Then those white threads surge into Ethan's body without warning. The next moment, Ethan's eyes suddenly turn purple, and his movements become feminine. This body is absolutely perfect. The reason Ethan has become like this is entirely because of this woman. She's the world's only possessor of a triple S rank possession ability. Her goal is to find the world's strongest man, then forcibly merge with him and turn his body into her own vessel. As the world's acknowledged strongest at the time, Lucas was her unhesitating choice. But now, the parasite suddenly realizes that Ethan's power is even greater than Lucas, so she decisively abandons Lucas's flesh and possesses Ethan's body instead. The moment the parasite takes control of Ethan's body, his childhood memories begin flooding into her mind. When Ethan was very young, his mother cruelly abandoned him. He didn't understand why his mom would leave him, so he chose to end his own life. But the moment he cut his arm with a broken bottle, disgusting bones would always grow from the wounds. He tried again and again, but always failed. He could never end his miserable life. Just when he felt completely hopeless, his mother had a change of heart and returned to his side. Ethan didn't blame his mother. Instead, he kept apologizing to her. "It's all my fault. This thing on my body won't go away no matter what." Looking at Ethan's small hands covered in bone spikes, his mother finally realizes how much harm she's caused him. She holds Ethan tightly in her arms and comforts him repeatedly, telling him not to blame himself. "Mom didn't abandon you." After experiencing Ethan's memories, the parasite becomes even more fascinated with this body. Just when she thinks she can finally use this body freely, a bone-deep stabbing pain sweeps through her entire body, the pain of the external skeleton crushing internal organs as the body heals. This pain is utterly suffocating, constantly oppressing the body owner's will. In this moment, the parasite suddenly realizes her naivety. Just as she's being tortured to the point of wishing for death, an unquestionable voice suddenly rings out, "Get out of my body, you witch!" As the voice falls, Ethan's body begins twisting bizarrely. Then white threads slowly emerge from Ethan's body. Those threads desperately flee from his body, finally reforming into the parasite's original form. The parasite begs Ethan to spare her, but before she can finish speaking, blood sprays. Her body is split in two. In this moment, Ethan completely transforms into a demon returned from hell, emanating an incredibly terrifying aura of death. But the next moment, an even more bizarre scene unfolds. A dazzling light suddenly erupts from Lucas's dead neck. His body miraculously heals once again. And all of this was within Lucas's expectations. When he first awakened his ability, he saw everything that would happen in the future. He believed it was divine will, a test from God. So he allowed the parasite to possess his body, waiting for this very moment to arrive. At this moment, Lucas is enveloped in holy light. He appears beside Ethan in a flash. Just as Ethan prepares to attack him again, Lucas suddenly embraces him tightly. The next moment, the bones on Ethan's body begin falling away piece by piece. From this moment on, Ethan is no longer that monster. But at this very moment, countless blood gates appear out of nowhere. Monsters from hell begin recklessly destroying the entire city, and below them, a monstrous maw charges at them furiously. Fortunately, at this moment, a terrifying divine power suddenly descends from the sky, splitting the monster in two, and under that holy light, Ethan transforms back into that innocent young boy. Afterward, Lucas gently sets Ethan down. After confirming Ethan is unharmed, he switches forms, transforming into his golden saint form, and engages in fierce battle with the world-destroying monsters. As rays of holy light descend from the sky, the entire world returns to peace once more. Lucas's figure reappears above Ethan. Looking at this tormented young man, a golden tear unconsciously falls. "Young man, the fate that awaits you is far too heavy. In the future, you will endure even greater suffering and torment than now. Though this is terrifying and cruel, please never lose your faith." In this moment, Lucas completes his mission. His body gradually dissipates into heaven and earth along with the monsters, but his will shall be inherited by those who come after. At this moment, little Lucas watches his father's disappearing figure, and a pair of white wings suddenly appears on his back. Meanwhile, Ethan kneels on the ground as tears flow down uncontrollably, but he's not moved by Lucas's sacrifice. What terrifying future. What don't lose faith, that's all nonsense. Now that I've regained my body, aren't all problems solved? With that, he howls at the sky. "Now I'm going to live happily with Mom." But the moment the words leave his mouth, a figure suddenly descends from the sky and stomps Ethan's body into pulp. Just as the man in red wonders what he stepped on, a tremendous magic power suddenly surges from beneath his foot. Ethan's mangled body regenerates into human form once again. Not understanding what's happening, Crimson simply kicks him off the rooftop. Even after falling from such a height, Ethan's body still rapidly heals at a visible rate. In no time, it returns to its original state. He lies powerlessly on the ground, continuously calling out Mom. Right now, he just wants to live peacefully with his mother. However, what awaits him is Crimson's merciless brutality. But no matter how many times, he still cannot kill Ethan completely. In this moment, Crimson feels disgusted. "You're already grown up, yet you're still constantly calling for your mommy. How pathetic." Hearing this, Ethan turns his distorted face and asks Crimson in confusion, "Don't you have a mother? Or is your mother already dead?" This completely enrages Crimson. He kicks out again, sending Ethan's entire body flying into a blood gate. The moment Ethan enters the blood gate, his consciousness gradually blurs. His mind returns to his childhood. Looking at the familiar scenes around him, he wonders if he's actually returned to his childhood. At this moment, he sees his mom's busy figure, a scene he's fantasized about countless times. As long as he can live peacefully with Mom, everything is worth it. He excitedly walks toward her, However, when his mom turns around, she reveals an incredibly grotesque face. Under infinite terror, Ethan's consciousness gradually awakens. At this moment, he's inside the blood gate, with countless energies continuously flowing into his body. But this energy is extremely violent. Ethan feels like countless ants are gnawing at his entire body. He endures indescribable heart-wrenching pain every single moment. At this moment, Ethan suddenly recalls a conversation with his mom. When you face difficulties, just smile and everything will be okay. In this moment, Ethan grits his teeth, letting the pain torment his body, while he begins laughing madly, laughing with insane hysteria. Gradually, his consciousness is slowly overtaken by beastification, and his previously purified body becomes covered in bones once more. And, as his laughter grows more terrifying, a demon godlike figure slowly appears outside the blood gate. Crimson freezes instantly upon witnessing this bizarre scene. But before he can react, Ethan stomps him underfoot. At this moment, Ethan continuously emits a kekeke sinister laugh. He looks at Crimson in a bizarre posture. "I just want to see my mom. Why are you stopping me?" With that, he opens his mouth to bite Crimson. At this critical moment, bizarre-looking weapons appear out of thin air, shielding Crimson within. And with a leap, sharp cold gleams rapidly slash across Ethan's body. Even the building ahead doesn't escape, being sliced into fragments as well. Crimson lets out a long sigh. Finally over. No one could possibly survive that explosion. But the next moment, Ethan appears unharmed behind him once again. Seeing this, Crimson immediately spins and kicks out, subduing Ethan. But Ethan quickly breaks free and engages in combat with Crimson once more. Just like that, an intense battle erupts between them. Crimson is very curious. The young man before him is clearly human, so why does he always emanate a beast's aura? Besides, beasts don't fight to protect humans. With that, Crimson points at the collapsed building behind them. Is there something special there? Hearing this, Ethan shows an incredibly bizarre smile. "My mom is there. Even though she abandoned me and ran away, I still love her." Crimson scoffs upon hearing this. "Then I should definitely defeat you, because destroying what others treasure most has always been my favorite thing to do." With that, he swings his weapons at Ethan again. As their battle intensifies, the weapon in Crimson's hand emits a strange cry for help. Unfortunately, the voice barely emerges before Ethan slices it in two. Then he charges at Crimson once more. After hundreds of exchanges, Crimson's weapons are destroyed one by one. As his weapons dwindle, Crimson actually falls into a disadvantage. Just as Crimson contemplates how to deal with the monster before him, a hunched old man suddenly appears. He bows deeply to Crimson. "What you requested has been collected." Crimson glances at the pile of corpses behind the blacksmith and acknowledges him, then continues battling with Ethan. The hunched old man then squats beside the corpses, transforming his arm into an iron hammer, and strikes the pile of corpses repeatedly. In mere moments, he forges a meteor hammer crafted from corpses. Seeing his work complete, the blacksmith immediately hands the weapon to Crimson. Crimson exerts light force, and the massive meteor hammer hurls toward Ethan like a meteor. Under the meteor hammer's incredibly terrifying impact, Ethan's body is blasted away. Just when Crimson thinks he can turn the tide with this weapon, Ethan breaks free from the meteor hammer's restraints and tears it to shreds. Ethan prepares to continue his assault, but the next moment, a demon blade suddenly blocks his path, and the owner of this blade is none other than his once closest friend. 10 years ago, to record everything during battles, Crimson specifically bought an eye in K-Country, and the magic power of this demon blade comes from that eye's owner. The next moment, Crimson snaps open his right eye. Seeing Crimson's eye, Ethan breaks out in cold sweat. Scenes from the past flash through Ethan's mind like a slideshow, and that familiar face completely freezes Ethan in place. Crimson looks down at Ethan from above. "You despicable bastard, abandoning your best friend." With that, Crimson's blade flashes, and countless strikes shatter Ethan's body to pieces. But Ethan's soul doesn't dissipate. Instead, it arrives in a mysterious white void. He kneels before his friend, as large tears stream down his face. His friend tells him not to be sad. "I don't blame you because we're friends." Though his friend's comfort sounds warm, Ethan's heart is filled with self-blame. Because he caused his best friend's death, endless guilt and remorse continuously erode Ethan's sanity. Though his body regenerates once more, the mental torment only grows more agonizing. So he repeatedly cuts off his own head, trying in vain to end this endless torture. But it's all futile. No matter what he tries, his body always regenerates completely. At this moment, Ethan looks at Crimson with a grotesque expression. "Are you the one who can kill me?" Crimson freezes instantly upon hearing this. Though he doesn't know what this guy has been through, he senses extreme danger. So without any hesitation, he strikes immediately. The next moment, Ethan's rock-solid bone armor shatters instantly. But before Crimson can celebrate, an incredibly terrifying magic power surges toward Ethan like a tidal wave, continuously repairing his broken body. His body rapidly heals at a visible rate. Seeing this, Crimson immediately launches a second assault. With repeated strikes, the ground quickly fills with Ethan's shattered limbs, but these attacks still cannot cause him any real damage. Witnessing this hellish scene before him, Crimson is thrilled beyond measure, as if others' suffering is the source of his joy. But Ethan's recovery far exceeds his imagination. No matter how many times he's shattered, Ethan's body always regenerates instantly. In a fit of rage, Crimson kicks him straight into the lake. He attempts to use suffocation to deal with this troublesome monster. As Ethan's body keeps sinking, the agony of suffocation makes his consciousness gradually fade. In his dying moments, familiar images of his mother resurface in his mind, but this time, what he sees is his mother's fearful and disgusted expression. In this moment, he suddenly realizes that all along, it's been nothing but his own wishful thinking. Physical and mental torture mercilessly ravage this pitiful boy. Just as Ethan's mind is about to collapse, countless red blood gates suddenly appear in the sky. Infinite magic power surges down like a celestial river pouring forth, flooding toward the bottom of the lake. Under the impact of this magic, Ethan rises again, and his bone armor becomes even more sinister and terrifying than before. With the enhancement of Bloodgate magic, his body evolves once more. But Crimson still hasn't realized the severity of the situation, his face still full of disdain. Unexpectedly, the next moment, a streak of blood-red light flashes past, instantly slicing across his skull. The next moment, green slime oozes from the wound, making his severed injury heal rapidly at a visible speed. Ethan's surprise attack completely enrages Crimson. His face contorts with fury, his eyes filled with endless bloodshot veins. He viciously kicks toward Ethan. Under this ferocious strike, Ethan's body is once again torn to pieces. Fortunately, Ethan possesses an immortal body, and the endless magic power restores him once again. Their battle now enters a white-hot stage. Although both possess immortal abilities, Crimson clearly has the upper hand. Ethan can only struggle to survive under Crimson's relentless assault. The next moment, Crimson unleashes countless blades again, leaving Ethan completely powerless to fight back. Ethan's body is sent flying into outer space. Crimson intends to seal Ethan forever in this lightless void. But the next moment, Ethan's body undergoes another mutation. With a loud crack, Ethan's head bizarrely detaches from his body. It plummets rapidly toward the ground. Under the intense friction, the head transforms into a burning meteor falling swiftly. This scene makes Crimson freeze in place. He slowly stops his movements, his eyes locked onto the meteor's position. The instant the meteor touches the ground, Ethan's body regenerates. His eyes lock onto Crimson. Meanwhile, on the other side of the continent, Marcus overlooks the city below. With just a light wave of his hand, the entire city instantly turns into ruins. Then Marcus begins to contort in an incredibly bizarre manner. Colorful magic threads continuously pour into his body. Jade beside him can't bear to see him in such pain. She keeps pleading with him to stop. This isn't your fault. Marcus freezes after hearing this. Incomparable grief wells up in his heart. It reminds him of his first meeting with Ethan. When he learned that Ethan's ability was bone armor, he didn't hesitate to beat him up, but Ethan wasn't angry at all. Instead, he cheerfully apologized to him. This made his already disgusted mood even worse, so he imposed all his resentment onto Ethan. As they say, evil meets its match. Next, a bloodbath awaits Marcus. At this moment, Vera Yin receives a report from her subordinates. Overnight, all hunters in northeastern X country have been slaughtered. Vera is furious upon hearing this news. She immediately leads all her subordinates to Marcus's location. At this moment, she pins Marcus firmly under her foot. I heard you killed my children. Do you think you can face 100 million hunters alone? Marcus is now surrounded by hundreds of millions of puppet army. Just as the puppet army is about to charge at Marcus, a massive explosion suddenly erupts on the empty ground. Marcus seizes the opportunity to grab Jade and escape. No matter what, he must get her out of here safely. But the puppet army has no intention of letting him go and pursues relentlessly. During the escape, he notices that some puppets behind him look like his friends. Suddenly, overwhelming grief surges through him, reminding him of a long-buried memory. He once had a group of like-minded friends, and they made a pact. If one of them died by accident, they hoped the survivor would absorb their energy into his own body. That way, even if they truly died, they could still accompany each other as energy. But sadly, this wish can probably never be fulfilled now, because his two friends have been turned into puppets by Vera. Marcus silently vows that no matter the cost, he will kill Vera and avenge his fallen friends. After bringing Jade to a safe place, Marcus leaves immediately. No matter what painful price he'll pay, he must do this. He charges toward Vera. Facing hundreds of millions of puppet army, Marcus shows no fear. The young man remains incredibly calm, as if nothing is wrong. This makes Vera very uneasy. She has an extremely bad premonition, feeling that Marcus is hiding some unknown secret. Soon enough, her suspicion comes true. Marcus summons countless clones in an incredibly bizarre manner. Like demons emerging from hell, they pierce through the puppet army with their blades. Vera watches the bodies continuously falling around her. Her pupils dilate instantly. Because because she discovers something terrifying. The power erupting from Marcus has now surpassed Triple S rank. He wields power that doesn't belong to this dimension. His powers even exceeded human limits. Under Marcus's overwhelming aura, the puppet army develops a sense of fear. They show signs of wanting to flee. This fear is biological instinct, remaining even after losing self-awareness. Seeing the situation deteriorate, Vera begins to manipulate the puppet army. Don't be afraid. I'm behind you. If you die, I can revive you infinitely. So give it your all and charge without holding back. Under Vera's rallying cries, countless puppets charge at Marcus like zombies, but due to the massive power gap, the puppet army is like lambs to the slaughter, quickly and easily eliminated by Marcus. Vera is shocked by this scene. She can't understand why her proud puppet army would lose to this person. The next moment, her head is brutally severed by Marcus. In her final moments, scenes from her childhood flash through her mind, one by one. 10 years ago, her homeland was invaded. Her sister desperately begged, pleading with the invaders to spare them. But what she received was an incredibly cruel death. Young Vera witnessed it all. She silently vowed to become stronger, so that one day she could avenge her sister and protect those she wanted to protect. At this moment, Vera gradually loses consciousness. After winning a hard battle, Marcus staggers to the cave entrance. Jade is shocked to see this. She immediately runs toward Marcus. Marcus, where did you go? Don't you know I was so worried? I was terrified you wouldn't come back. Marcus says he's fine, just dealt with a minor issue. Just as they're talking, an uninvited guest arrives. She approaches Marcus, holding a mysterious object. Marcus examines the girl carefully and asks why she's here. The girl says she wants revenge on Ethan, and since Ethan is also his enemy, she plans to form an alliance with Marcus to get revenge together. Meanwhile, on the other side of the continent, Ethan emerges like a demon from hell. With a thunderous boom, Crimson is violently slammed to the ground. But Ethan's attack doesn't end there. He summons the Blood Cavern and throws Crimson into it. Unexpectedly, the instant Crimson falls into the Blood Cavern, he grabs Ethan's body tightly. As Crimson's grip strengthens, he uses Ethan as an anchor point, suspending himself above the Blood Gate. Just as Ethan is confused, Crimson reveals a mocking smile. An incredibly bold plan emerges in his mind. The next moment, he converts all his power into venom, concentrating it in his palm. Then, using his arm as a conduit, he transmits it into Ethan's body. The next moment, Ethan's body is paralyzed by the toxin, completely losing sensation. Seeing this, Crimson reveals a sinister grin. Didn't you escape from this cursed place? In that case, let's go in together. With that, he drags Ethan into the Blood Cavern with him. Crimson has no intention of letting Ethan off easily. He tightly chokes Ethan's neck. With a loud crack, countless toxins pour from his palm into Ethan's body. Ethan is blasted away by this terrifying attack, but Crimson's assault doesn't end. He concentrates all his power into his palm and strikes Ethan again. Crimson is extremely confident in his attack. No one can survive his ultimate technique, the Poison Demon Palm, because this is his ultimate skill, combining all biological toxins in the world. Crimson watches Ethan's body, corroded by toxins and unable to move. He reveals a mocking smile. Weren't you tough? Keep going if you can. Unexpectedly, the next moment, Ethan suddenly breaks free. He punches Crimson, sending him flying. In the next instant, Ethan flashes before Crimson and asks him how it feels to get hit. Crimson chuckles and says it feels amazing. When I fought as a kid, I always won. I defeated thousands of opponents, but none of that compares to how getting hit feels now. That feeling of blood boiling, every nerve tense while taking a hit, it's better than all previous feelings combined. Just as they're talking, a terrifying tornado suddenly erupts in the Blood Gate. Crimson and Ethan are quickly swallowed by this sinister wind. As the tornado grows stronger, Ethan's body is continuously devoured by this evil wind. Crimson beside him doesn't escape either. His body is like being thrown into a meat grinder, bones shattering inch by inch. It's like entering a living hell. Under the massive vortex, Crimson's consciousness gradually fades. He recalls childhood memories with his father. When Crimson was very young, he watched helplessly as fire consumed his home, so he silently vowed to become strong enough to one day defeat his father. Eventually, through tireless effort, he actually beheaded his own father. Thinking that his father died by his own hand, indescribable despair and guilt flood his mind. Finally, he collapses in a pool of blood, completely losing consciousness. Shortly after Crimson's death, the blacksmith who forged weapons for him reappears. With a thud, he slowly kneels before Crimson, but he doesn't cry. Instead, he raises his hammer. Lord Crimson, you're finally dead. The old man concentrates all his magic power into the hammer. Crimson's head is smashed into mangled pulp. At this moment, something bizarre happens. The pulverized Crimson, his blood transforms into countless clones, rushing toward Ethan. Ethan is surrounded by a swarm of monsters. They repeatedly pierce Ethan's body with their spears. After enduring what feels like endless beating, Ethan is finally beaten into mangled pulp. Seeing himself in a pool of blood, Ethan sheds tears of despair. He'll never see his mother again. Meanwhile, Mrs. Tang slowly stands up. She wants to see how her son is doing. But when she sees her son reduced to mangled pulp, still calling out for his mother, her heart is deeply shaken. She tells Dr. Shen to take her to see her son immediately. Meanwhile, on the other side of the continent, Frost brings her husband's head to Marcus. She begs Marcus to revive her husband, offering to help him deal with Ethan. Marcus shows disdain. With a loud crack, Frost's head is also severed. Like a gluttonous demon, Marcus absorbs all of Frost's energy into his body. After absorbing her energy, he still isn't satisfied, so he sets his sights on Blaze, Frost's husband. He frantically absorbs Blaze's magic power until every last bit is drained. Only then does Marcus let out a long breath. After absorbing Frost and Blaze's powers, Marcus feels his body brimming with strength. He decides to seek revenge on Ethan tomorrow. Jade freezes upon hearing this. She doesn't want Marcus to do something foolish, because if Marcus goes after Ethan now, he'll definitely die. Marcus is her only emotional anchor in this world. When she was 6 years old, her father died, leaving the family without financial support. From that day on, her brother suddenly changed. His temper became violent, always resorting to violence against those around him. She herself was often abused by him. Fortunately, at 16, she awakened her ability. She thought that once she became a hunter and earned money, he wouldn't treat her the same way. But just as she was about to sleep with this hope, her brother came for her again. She desperately fled from home. But the next moment, he chased after her and tripped her. She fell hard to the ground. She tried to get back up, but was met with countless punches from her brother. She desperately called for help, hoping someone nearby could save her. Her mother heard the cries and rushed out. "Stop! Don't hit her anymore! Stop it now!" Hearing this, her brother kicked their mother down. Her head struck the ground hard. After he left, Jade desperately called out for her mother. But no matter how much she cried, there was no response. That's when she realized her mother was dead, beaten to death by her own brother. She silently vowed to make him pay, no matter what. Later, Jade met Marcus in a park. Marcus believed he was cursed, always killing people inexplicably. Jade said her awakened ability was power regulation, and she could seal his magic power. Marcus was thrilled, and wanted her to seal his power immediately. But Jade held back, saying there was one condition. Before that, he must help her kill someone. Marcus didn't hesitate and immediately agreed. He then knocked on her family's door. Upon seeing Jade's brother, Marcus immediately grabbed his weapon. He swiftly pierced it through his body after killing Jade's brother. Before they could celebrate, Marcus's brother suddenly showed up. He angrily confronted Marcus. "Why did you kill him? Haven't you killed enough people already?" Seeing Marcus being confronted, Jade tried to use power regulation to strip his brother's magic. But Marcus's brother grabbed her wrist. Though he didn't understand why she attacked him, he cursed at her. Unexpectedly, he lost his footing and fell to the ground. Jade seized the opportunity to place her hand on his back and sealed Marcus's brother's magic. Seeing his brother, who always bullied him, suddenly lose his magic, Marcus immediately used his diamond ability to pierce through his body. Now both Jade's brother and Marcus's brother were dead. Jade anxiously asked Marcus, "What do we do now?" Marcus told her not to worry, because he would protect her for life. After this experience, Jade always considered Marcus the most important person in her life, so she couldn't just watch him go to his death against Ethan. She plans to seal Marcus's magic to stop him from doing something foolish. But the next moment, Marcus grabs her hand tightly. "You witch, what are you doing?" The next moment, her body is blasted into fragments by Marcus. Marcus weeps uncontrollably over Jade's remains. Indescribable despair and guilt flood his mind. He didn't actually want to kill her. That action was just an instinctive reaction from killing too many people. With a thud, Marcus suddenly falls to his knees. Tears of despair stream down his face. He desperately slams his head against the ground, trying to ease his guilt with pain. In moments, he smashes a massive crater into the ground. After about 2 hours, he finally calms down, because now is not the time for grief. He has something more important to do, to kill Ethan. The next moment, countless clones emerge from his body. Those clones continuously circle above the earth. Soon, those clones transform into magic threads. Then Marcus gathers those magic threads and forms them into a blood gate. Looking at the blood gate before him, a bold idea suddenly emerges in his mind. He'll give Ethan a shocking surprise. Meanwhile, Ethan's body has been beaten into mangled pulp. A mysterious old man holds a chainsaw, making a buzzing sound through the air. Just as the chainsaw is about to touch Ethan's eyes, Dr. Shen arrives with Mrs. Tang. Mrs. Tang immediately recognizes her son among the crowd. Seeing his mother come for him, Ethan is overwhelmed with emotion. The next moment, a terrifying survival instinct erupts from within him. Ethan's body regenerates, and he transforms into a monster once more. Mrs. Tang looks at the demon beast before her. She recalls Ethan's childhood. Although her child has become a monster, he's still her child. Just as she's about to reunite with Ethan, a stone suddenly strikes Mrs. Tang. She slowly stands up from the ground, but her movements become stiff, like a zombie. Soon, she approaches Ethan. Tears stream down her face. "My son, no matter what you become, I will always love you." With that, she tears off the skin on her face, revealing her true identity. Marcus looks mockingly at Ethan. Surprised? Shocked, Ethan stares at his mother's corpse at his feet, frozen in place. In that moment of shock, his head is severed by Marcus. Marcus looks at Ethan's fallen head with a mocking smile. I'm just one gate away from closing all the blood gates in the world, and Ethan here is the final blood gate. The next moment, countless magic threads surge from Marcus's body. He opens the blood gate again and throws Ethan into it. Just like that, Ethan is thrown into the blood gate once more. Facing the demon beasts rushing at him again, Ethan doesn't hesitate, cutting them down like slicing vegetables. During the slaughter, Ethan's consciousness gradually blurs. He starts seeing the demon beasts as Marcus. He's startled by the sight and loses his footing. He falls hard to the ground. But remembering Marcus's arrogant face after killing his mother, Ethan is filled with rage. He silently vows that one day he'll escape the blood gate and twist Marcus's head off to kick like a ball. Meanwhile, Marcus sits in a park, weeping quietly. Because he killed the woman he loved most. Just as he grieves, Dr. Shen suddenly finds him. Doctor. Shen gently caresses Marcus's cheek. She lets out a long sigh. 6 years ago, you killed Ethan's mother, causing his mental breakdown, and even threw him into the blood gate. Aren't you afraid of his revenge? Marcus is furious upon hearing this. He grips Dr. Shen's neck tightly. You think I'm afraid of him? What a joke. I can't wait to see him again and tear him to shreds. Dr. Shen chuckles, and I've a secret to tell you. The blood gate is actually connected to Hell. Although you threw Ethan into the blood gate, the Hell administrator who guards the blood gate will inevitably find him. Then, he might gain new power from the blood gate and become a demon god that everyone fears. In other words, if nothing unexpected happens, you two will meet again very soon. Marcus tells her to shut up. He doesn't believe Dr. Shen's nonsense at all. Dr. Shen sighs deeply, then just wait. You'll find out sooner or later. With that, she puts on her slippers and prepares to leave, but Marcus rushes out and grabs her wrist. You'd better explain clearly. What exactly do you mean? Dr. Shen stares directly at him. Since you want to know, I'll reluctantly tell you. Every world has a Hell administrator, commonly called the Pharaoh. When all dimensional gates turn into blood gates, the Pharaoh will lead the demon beast army to destroy the world. Though the Pharaoh has destroyed worlds tens of thousands of times over billions of years, this is the first time all blood gates have been sealed. Whether blood gates open depends on universal laws, so even the Pharaoh cannot interfere. But Ethan, who has escaped the blood gate multiple times, is an exception. He broke the dimensional balance. With enough power, one can reopen blood gates. So when Ethan falls into the blood gate again, the Pharaoh will desperately search for Ethan inside, then pass his power to him, allowing Ethan to reopen the blood gate. Meanwhile, Ethan is receiving the Pharaoh's inheritance. During the inheritance, he has a long dream. In the dream, his mother is torn to pieces, and he's trapped in the blood gate, unable to avenge her. If he wants to leave this place, he must obtain the Pharaoh's power, but doing so will reopen the blood gate and destroy the world. But even so, Ethan still wants to escape the blood gate. He wants revenge. At this moment, he completes the Pharaoh's inheritance. Countless magic power surges into his body like a tidal wave. The next moment, he tears through the void. He slowly emerges from the blood gate. At this moment, death wings sprout from Ethan's back. Wings only abyssal demons possess, as if a demon from hell descends upon the world. Marcus freezes instantly at this sight. He can't believe that 6 years later, Ethan reappears, descending beside him with such an imposing presence. The next moment, countless clones surge from his body. Tens of thousands of clones gather around Marcus. But Ethan doesn't back down. He summons countless demon beasts from the blood gate. With a thunderous boom, both sides quickly collide. Seeing this, Ethan summons an ancient dragon. It unleashes dragon's breath at Marcus. A massive energy beam shoots toward Marcus. Marcus immediately backflips to dodge. He doesn't sit idle but thinks of a countermeasure. He then uses diamond blades to form an ancient dragon. Standing atop the dragon's head, he rapidly charges at Ethan. With a deafening crash, the two collide once more. As time passes, their battle reaches a fever pitch. They fight from Earth to outer space. The aftermath of their battle causes rivers of blood and devastation for miles around. Countless ability users are reduced to fragments in the shockwaves. The next moment, he punches Marcus in the face. Marcus is sent flying by Ethan's terrifying force, but Marcus doesn't give up. While being blasted away, he immediately unleashes forbidden magic. The next moment, a large hand grabs Ethan's ankle. His foot is instantly frozen by the cold. Ethan looks back in confusion and discovers it's Frost, resurrected from the dead. Without hesitation, Ethan severs Frost's head once more. Marcus seizes the opportunity to summon countless magic threads. He tries to sever Ethan's head as usual. Unexpectedly, his usually effective magic threads feel like cotton against Ethan, causing no damage. Before Marcus can react, Ethan punches him, sending him flying. He crashes solidly onto the ice. The violent impact rapidly melts the ice. Marcus's body quickly plunges into the ocean. As he keeps sinking, his consciousness gradually fades. In his final moments, he recalls the hunters he killed, their lives now transformed into his energy. The next moment, countless magic threads suddenly surge from the calm water. As the threads multiply, a dazzling light suddenly shoots up from the depths. Marcus returns at full strength and escapes from the water, but the next moment, his head is severed. Seeing this, Ethan reveals a playful smile. When you were killing people, did you ever think about the endless suffering your actions would bring to others? To make Marcus suffer even more, Ethan forces his way into Marcus's mind and extracts his memories. After Ethan finishes extracting all of Marcus's memories, he instantly shows a mocking smile. So you killed your own father with your own hands. Marcus wants Ethan to shut up, but in the next moment, his head is instantly split in two. The moment his head hits the ground, Marcus instantly loses consciousness. In his final moments, childhood scenes flash before his eyes like a slideshow. At 6 years old, Marcus failed to awaken any abilities during the test, and his father saw him as the family's shame, beating him mercilessly. His mother tried to stop the fight, but she only received countless punches and kicks. Marcus was terrified by this scene, hiding in the corner with his hands covering his ears, trembling. This living hell lasted for 3 whole years, until one day, unable to bear it any longer, he picks up a dagger and aims it at his father's back. His father hears the movement behind him and turns around, breaking into a cold sweat. He tries to dodge, but it's too late. Marcus's dagger, like death's scythe, takes his life. Shortly after his father's death, countless waves of magic surge into Marcus's body. In the next moment, his arms become covered in layers of diamond, and he, who had no ability talent before, awakens the world's most powerful diamond ability. His mother, witnessing this scene, collapses to the ground in shock and quickly flees this cursed place. She cannot accept that her son has killed her husband. Just as Marcus feels heartbroken by his mother's sudden departure, his older brother suddenly finds him. He doesn't blame Marcus for killing their father, but instead trains Marcus as a ruthless killing machine. Later, with Yiju's help, Marcus kills his brother. But whenever Marcus thinks about how he eventually killed Yiju with his own hands, he feels overwhelming guilt and despair. At night, he's always jolted awake by this memory. Dr. Shen asks if he's remembered that incident again. Marcus waves his hand, indicating he's fine. Doctor, Shen shakes her head helplessly, clearly not believing him. Looking at your expression, you must be suffering right now. You've stored the magic and memories of tens of millions of people inside you, and these memories are constantly attacking your mental world. But what can I do about it? Unless you have a way to seal my power? Doctor, Shen sighs helplessly. I'm a healer. I can't do things like regulating someone else's power. Why don't you just seal your own power yourself? Marcus feels desperate after hearing this, because a person cannot seal their own power. He's had enough of living like this. If it continues, he'll eventually break down. He must see Yiju again, and have Yiju seal his power. At first, Marcus plans to revive Yiju, but he fails. No matter what he tries, Yiju cannot be revived. Just as he feels desperate and on the verge of mental collapse, he sees the swinging pendulum on a clock. A bold idea suddenly comes to his mind: to use intense gravity to distort space-time and reverse time, going back to before Yiju's death. So Marcus, using gravity as a foundation, tries 13,678 different combinations, and after tens of thousands of failures, finally succeeds in reversing time. But he discovers in despair that his time reversal ability has a massive flaw. No matter what he tries, he can never go back to before Yiju's death. Just as he despairs, he suddenly remembers Ethan, whom he sealed in the Blood Gate. Could it be that when I sealed Ethan in the Blood Gate and closed the final gate, I completely severed the timeline? And since Yiju died before Ethan was thrown into the Blood Gate, that's why I can't go back to before Yiju's death? After figuring this out, Marcus feels utterly hopeless, but he doesn't give up. He tries thousands more methods, but no matter what he does, he can only go back to the day after Ethan was sealed in the Blood Gate. After that, he stops reversing time. And all of this is Ethan's fault. If not for trying to kill him, how would the Blood Gate have been closed? And he wouldn't be unable to go back to before Yiju's death. Thinking that the source of all his suffering is caused by Ethan, Marcus feels overwhelming resentment and rage. His unwillingness to accept defeat and survival instinct instantly awaken Marcus's consciousness. He cannot accept dying so weakly, at least not before killing Ethan. Finally, in the last moment before his energy runs out, Marcus activates time reversal. In the next moment, countless threads of magic pour out from dimensional space. Marcus successfully returns to 3 years ago. Right now, Marcus slowly sits up in bed. Dr. Shen thinks he's had another nightmare and tries to comfort him. But in the next moment, Marcus suddenly changes his demeanor. You don't need to pretend anymore. I know everything. I have the ability to reverse time, and the future you has already told me everything. Tell me the truth. Who are you really? Did you already know the secret that I can reverse time? Dr. Shen shakes her head. Although I have the ability to foresee the future, I really didn't know you could reverse time. The future I saw was Ethan escaping from the Blood Gate and inheriting the power of the Pharaoh, the manager of hell, and eventually the world will be destroyed and everyone will die. Wherever Ethan goes, there will be devastation and suffering, and we're merely surviving day by day. As for time reversal, it doesn't exist in the future I've seen at all. Marcus frowns after hearing this. How can I trust you? Dr. Shen lets out a long sigh. If I'm lying, you can reverse time and come back to interrogate me. I can assure you I'm not lying, because I have no reason to. Marcus temporarily believes what Dr. Shen says, but his face suddenly darkens, because he remembers the scene of Ethan killing him. Can you tell me how to kill that guy Ethan? Dr. Shen slowly utters 3 words. It's impossible. No matter what you do, you cannot kill Ethan, because that guy is too terrifying. Marcus doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe Ethan is truly that terrifying, so he challenges Ethan again, but what awaits him is death after death. No matter how thoroughly Marcus prepares before battle, what ultimately awaits him is having his head cut off by Ethan again and again. Only then does Marcus realize Dr. Shen wasn't lying. Is there truly no way for him to kill Ethan? Marcus doesn't want to sit and wait for death, so he reverses time again, going back 6 years. This time he decides to make complete preparations and kill Ethan no matter what, because he cannot revive dead ordinary people, which means he can't save Ethan's mother even if he wanted to. As long as Ethan's mother cannot be revived, no matter how much Marcus apologizes, Ethan will never forgive him. So now, his only way out is to kill Ethan. During these 6 years, Marcus kills all the awakened in the world, absorbing all their magic. When Ethan is about to emerge from hell, Marcus closes all the red blood gates, not giving Ethan a chance to escape. But what Marcus doesn't expect is that Ethan actually opens the blood gate himself and walks out. Seeing this, Marcus immediately concentrates all his magic into his palms. If he can't avoid it, then he'll fight. But Ethan's power is too terrifying, and he kills Marcus again. Marcus doesn't want to die, so he activates his ability again and reverses time. This time, he wraps Ethan in diamond blades and throws him into the abyss, but Ethan cuts the diamond into fragments, crawls out from the earth, and kills Marcus again. And so, Marcus is trapped in an endless cycle of death and rebirth. On his 5,000th rebirth, Marcus tries to destroy Earth and die together with Ethan, but Ethan crosses the universe and kills him before Marcus can destroy the planet. On his 10,000th rebirth, Marcus throws Ethan into a black hole, but unexpectedly Ethan still escapes and kills Marcus again. Only then does Marcus realize that Ethan truly cannot be defeated, just as Dr. Shen said. At this moment, Marcus has given up the idea of killing Ethan. He just wants to survive. But as long as the fact that he killed Ethan's mother hasn't changed, no matter where he flees, Ethan will definitely kill Marcus. Thinking that he cannot escape death no matter what, Marcus completely breaks down. Under countless death loops, he gradually gains a new realization. Before, when trying to kill Ethan, he always acted alone. After all, aside from confiding in Yiju, he's never trusted anyone. But now, he decides to try to change, to unite all the forces in the world to kill Ethan. On his 20,000th rebirth, Marcus doesn't kill anyone this time. Instead, he publicly apologizes to all the hunters in the world and reveals all the crimes he's committed during this period, from killing Ethan's mother to countless time reversals. Marcus reveals everything that has happened to him. He wants to get help from the hunters below to help him overcome this crisis. After hearing what he's been through, none of the hunters are willing to help him, and they all leave. To convince everyone, Marcus uses thousands of time reversals, repeatedly trying to persuade them. Whether it's hunters who died by his hand for no reason in the past, or ordinary people who were sacrificed for nothing, he seeks them all out, one by one. Finally, after Marcus's tireless efforts through thousands of loops, he manages to convince everyone. But at this moment, he doesn't feel joy, only immense sadness. He begins trying to communicate with the magic he's absorbed. After finishing his conversation with the magic inside him, he also begins to face his past, to face that cruel past. But precisely because of this, he cannot stand by. He cannot let others experience the pain of losing loved ones. And Ethan is the one who will destroy the world. So to save this world, he must kill Ethan no matter what. At this moment, Ethan tears through space with his bare hands and slowly walks out from the blood gate. Seeing this scene, Marcus's expression becomes extremely serious, and he commands the surrounding hunters to kill this monster who will destroy the world. But unfortunately, he fails again. Ethan very easily kills all the surrounding hunters. With a heavy thud, Marcus suddenly falls to his knees. Only now does he truly realize how terrifying Ethan is. The guy in front of him is simply an unbeatable monster. In the end, can I still not escape being killed? Thinking of his upcoming fate, Marcus's tears involuntarily slide down his cheeks. In his final moments, he apologetically says 3 words to Ethan, "I'm sorry." But even so, Ethan still doesn't intend to let him go. As the blade in Ethan's hand swings out, countless drops of blood fall from the air. Seeing this scene, Marcus's pupils instantly dilate, because the blood falling on the ground isn't his but someone else's. Someone had taken that blow for him, but when he sees who it is clearly, his back is instantly drenched in cold sweat, because the person in front of him is none other than Mrs. Han, Marcus's mother, who disappeared many years ago. Since his mother left home, Marcus hasn't seen her again. But why has she come to find him? Is it because he's perfect enough now? Marcus's mother was born into a wealthy family, and her parents were very strict with her, demanding perfection from her since childhood. Although living in such a family was difficult, his mother never complained. She always pursued perfection because she firmly believed perfection was the truth of life. But because she was always controlled by others, her emotions couldn't be released for a long time. which ultimately led her to do the only imperfect thing, falling in love. In her freshman year, she had a boyfriend, and because they didn't use proper protection, she became pregnant not long after. Because of this, she was kicked out of her home, and the boyfriend who got her pregnant couldn't be reached and completely disappeared. Only then did she understand this was the price of choosing imperfection. And Marcus's older brother was born at that time. At that moment, Marcus's mother silently vowed to herself that she must become perfect, even in love. So she ultimately chose to obey her parents' arrangements and married a man 8 years older than her, Marcus's father. But why would someone who endlessly pursues perfection suddenly come to find him now? Is it because he looks perfect now? Or is it to pursue a perfect death? Just as Marcus is stunned, Ethan shows a mocking smile. So this person is your mother? I thought she was prostitute from somewhere. With that, he pierces Marcus's mother's body with the blade in his hand. Marcus stares at his mother lying in a pool of blood, frozen in place. At this moment, he feels utterly hopeless. This is a soul-crushing pain, even more terrifying than dying thousands of times. Marcus slowly lowers his head and lets out a blood-curdling roar and wail toward the sky. After experiencing endless despair and pain, Marcus gains a new understanding. He sincerely apologizes to Ethan. So this is how you felt back then. After that, Marcus tells Ethan every detail of everything that has happened to him, whether it's the countless times of time reversal or the countless deaths and everything he just realized. He tells Ethan everything. Then Marcus apologizes to Ethan again. I'm sorry, Ethan. I've done many terrible things to you. I hope you can forgive me. Ethan asks him disdainfully, why did you do it? Why did you do that to my mother? Do you know, if not for you, I would be living a happy and peaceful life with my mother right now. Marcus falls into deep thought after hearing this. Then he slowly utters 4 words, I don't know. After hearing this, Ethan is furious and cuts off Marcus's head again. The moment his head hits the ground, Marcus's consciousness begins to fade. Is it finally ending? His life has been far too long. Now he can finally be free. At this moment, Marcus has lost his will to live. He doesn't plan to activate time reversal anymore, but prepares to die quietly. As time passes, his consciousness becomes increasingly blurry. In his final moments, he sees his father whom he killed, his brother who abused him from time to time, and his mother who abandoned him and fled alone. He had already prepared to embrace death, but when he opens his eyes again, he discovers he's been reborn again. Marcus is very confused. He clearly didn't use his diamond ability to reverse time, so why has he returned to 6 years ago again? At first he thinks maybe he was too afraid of death and unconsciously used his ability to reverse time. To prevent this from happening again, this time he simply cuts off his own head. Marcus thinks surely he can't be reborn again this way, right? But reality is the complete opposite of his expectation. Not only does Marcus not die, but he's reborn 6 years ago again. Marcus doesn't believe it, picks up a spear from the ground, and pierces through his own body. The sharp blade cuts through Marcus's heart, and he quickly falls silent. But when he opens his eyes again, he discovers he's been reborn again. At this moment, Marcus falls into despair. He can't understand why he keeps being reborn and can't die even if he wants to. Marcus wants to escape this torment, and repeatedly kills himself. But no matter how many times he tries, he always returns to the starting point. Under thousands of loops, his mind nears collapse. Fortunately, at this moment Dr. Shen finds him. She tells Marcus to calm down. When Marcus sees Dr. Shen, as if seeing a lifeline, he immediately falls to his knees. He begs Dr. Shen to help him, desperately wanting to know from her how he can die. Dr. Shen lets out a long sigh. You've used time reversal thousands upon thousands of times, and each time you activated it when you were about to die. With the continuous accumulation of magic, it eventually distorted causality, causing time itself to be sealed. So now, whenever you die, even if you don't activate time reversal, you'll automatically return to that moment 6 years ago when the blood gate closed. And no matter what you do during these 6 years, you'll ultimately die at Ethan's hands 6 years later. In other words, no matter how hard you try, you'll only die repeatedly forever. Marcus can't believe what he's hearing. When he calms down and thinks carefully, he discovers Dr. Shen's identity is incredibly mysterious. Why does she know these things? Why does she know his future and experiences so clearly? Like a god of death casually toying with others' fates. Sensing something is wrong, Marcus immediately asks about Dr. Shen's identity. Who are you really? Why do you know everything so clearly? Dr. Shen whispers a few words in his ear in a particularly gentle voice, telling him the whole truth. After hearing this, Marcus is instantly frozen in place, his back instantly drenched in cold sweat. Only at this moment does he realize how pitiful he is. He was the victim all along, merely a chess piece used by others for their plans. But before Marcus has time to break down, Ethan cuts off Marcus's head again and is about to leave, but Dr. Shen calls out to stop him. Ethan turns around in confusion and asks what's the matter. Dr. Shen presses against Ethan and tells him every detail about her identity, and also tells him a particularly shocking piece of news. That is, Dr. Shen's identity is actually very special. she's not truly human. Her origin must be told starting from the beginning of the universe. At the dawn of the universe, there lived the Pharaoh, a manager of hell. Throughout infinite time, he continuously destroyed worlds and eventually even forgot who he was and what he had done. In the endless river of history, he suddenly felt lonely, so he tried to create life. But unexpectedly, he failed due to the constraints of universal laws. But he didn't give up. He took out his own heart and split it in two, using the other half to create his own counterpart, who is also his only daughter in this world. After hearing this, Ethan asks, "So you're the Pharaoh's daughter?" Doctor Shen doesn't deny it. Although she's the Pharaoh's daughter and shares a heart with him, she uses a human body. Since humans cannot survive in hell, she was thrown outside the Blood Gate as soon as she was born and came to Earth 1 billion years ago. During the 1 billion years she's lived on Earth, she's always been alone, with nowhere to go and no one to rely on, only able to silently endure loneliness and solitude by herself. In endless isolation, Dr. Shen desperately longs for death, although she wants to die because she shares a heart with the Pharaoh. She cannot die. As long as she and the Pharaoh remain in different dimensions, even if she dies, she'll come back to life. What makes her even more desperate is that, even if she waits until this planet is destroyed, she still cannot meet the Pharaoh. Loneliness and hatred accompany her year after year, until one day, her dull and boring life suddenly changes.